Welcome to part 2 of Redeem Team by Buckethead. If you haven't seen part 1, probably check that out first unless you already know everything up until this point. So, starting things off, this is right after the second time it does the... Then it comes in with... So this is kind of a hard lick to teach, kind of hard to follow because I don't think he really plays it the same twice, and it's kind of erratic. Like it's not really, there's not a very do this 4 times then this 4 times. It's kind of just all over the place, but I can still do my best to teach it. But if you don't get it exactly right, that's okay, because I don't think he ever plays it the same twice anyway. So we're starting off with this little 3-note pattern, and that is the 16th fret of the G string, and then 15 to 17 on the B. So, and I like to economy pick this, but that's just preference. To me, it just makes sense. Start it with a down. So basically, I'm going down, down, up, but you could alternate it or whatever. So that pattern you're going to do, I'm going to try to follow this, but like I said, it's kind of erratic. 5 times at first, and then which is just 14 to 16 on the G, and then 15 to 17 on the B. So it's like 5 times of this, and that's pretty much what we're doing, but each time it's different. It's like that time it's 5, and then it's 4, I believe. And then he might do it once, he might do it twice, and then the second round it's all different too. So kind of just do that and listen to it and go by feel. You're just kind of following the rhythm behind it with it. So you'll do that. It's like 5, 4, and then 2, and then he'll just go, just going 17 to 15 on the B. Pick the 15 a couple more times. So it's like, something like that. Whether you do it 5, 4, and then 2, or like 4, 4, and 3, or whatever. I don't think it really matters that much. So that's like the first round, and then the second round, I believe he's doing 3 times on the first 2. So and then maybe once or twice. But then there is something a little bit different thrown in there. Instead of just going, he's going, so it's like, something like that. So what you're doing there is 16 on the G, and then 17, 15 on the B, and then back to that G, and then 15, 17 on the B. So you're going, all right. And then now, instead of doing the, like we ended the other one, you're just gonna reverse that and go. So 15 to the 17, the B. And then go right into the, okay? So just kind of listen to that, try to follow. As long as you're playing those notes, you don't have to do each timing thing the exact same. It's really kind of hard to follow. So next riff, Sounds like you're just sliding from 5 to 7 on the E and A strings. Does that whole thing 4 times. And then that gets us to some super fast alternate picking down here. So here we're playing the open E to the 2nd fret of the E string, and then you're alternate picking it like and then going 4th fret here of the A string, and then back to that picked 4 times. So like okay, and then go and then do it again. This time we're going 5 to 4 on the A string instead of that. Do that whole thing again, and then that leads to the chunking on the E with the drums going. Okay, so once you're done chunking your E, you're going to play 3rd fret of the E string up to the 7th fret, and then 5th fret of the A string and D string. So and then slide that down to the 4th and pick it. So you're going and then you're sliding a power chord up from 5th fret to the 7th fret of the A. So I play that like this. You might want to do that, but since that's just where my fingers already are, I just grab it with my middle and pinky. So I do it like okay, and then the next time we get so this time we're starting on the 7th fret of the E string, sliding up to the 12th, and then going 10th on the A string, 10th on the D to the 9th on the D. And then play 12th on the A string, and then hammer pull off with the 10th fret, and then the same thing between the 9th and the 10th. So and then back to the 10th fret there, so of the low E. So all together. Alright, then next is kind of a cleaner channel, going that little thing. So you could play that down here, but I think it's much easier to utilize the open high E. So you're going 12th fret of the B string, and you're going to pick the high E with it, like that. Okay, so each note you're picking the high E with it. So the B string is just going 12, 10, 8, slide up to 10, and then pick 12 again. So, but you're also picking the high E with that. Okay, it just does that 4 times. And then that gets to the super fun, super hard, super fast hybrid picking. So this is, like I said, real fast. Can be pretty challenging. But, you know, playing it is not that bad slow. Like, I can teach it and you can play it. It's just getting up to speed. So we're starting off here at the 9th fret of the G. And you're going to pick that with your middle finger. So you're picking, you know, I imagine you know what hybrid picking is if you're watching this, but you're going to be picking with your middle finger and then your pick. So each one is like alternating between these two. So 9th fret of the G to the 12th fret of the E. So it's a big string skip. That's why we're hybrid picking it. If you were to just use your pick, you would probably be tripping over the strings in between quite a bit. I mean, you can try, like, but you'll probably get a little messy, and it just sounds better and much easier hybrid pick it. So we're going 9th of the G to 12th of the E, and then 9th of the D to 12th of the E, and then it's going to be 10th of the A to 12th. So everything comes back to that 12th fret of the E string. So, all right, and then you go back up doing the same thing. All right, so your last one is on the D string, so it's okay. It might help to palm mute it a little bit. I think he probably does just a little bit, not too much. Okay, so that's the first one, and then you slide that thing down to the 7th fret, and now the only thing that's different, you know, the first two, the G and the D, are on the 7th fret going to the 10th, but then your ring finger comes to the 9th of the A. So same principle, everything's coming back to the 10th. So it's the same pattern repeated, just different notes. And then down here, same thing, just a whole step down. 5th fret here, going to 8th of the E, and then slide that down a half step and go. So first two are on the 4th fret, and then your middle finger on the 5th fret, and your pinky's coming to the 7th fret, the E. Now that I've showed that, it's worth noting that I think Bucket may very well be kind of sneaking an extra note in there in a way, but it's so fast that I don't think you would hardly notice. But if you want to try to do it like this, once you play that, you can hammer on your 12th fret of the E. So go and then pick it so that it's, you know what I mean? So that it'd be 3 notes per beat, and it's something like 220 BPM. So instead of just going, it's like, it's a triplet thing. If you want to try to do that, you know, I would start slow with a metronome, 3 notes per beat, and eventually work up to like 220 or whatever it is. But like I said, it's so fast, I don't think you hardly could tell. So if you're playing that fast, just, you know. All right, so that's the first section. So that it does twice. And then you go up to the higher thing. Now this is the same exact thing, 1 octave up. So you're coming to the 12th fret of the E. Okay, so that one's easy. You're going to your E note here. 14th fret of the D, and all the rest are on the 12th fret. So, and then you go 10 to 12, G strings at 11. Take that same exact shape down a whole step, and then come down here, and this is just like the first one. They're all at the 7th. Okay. Or if you want to do it like that with the hammer. Pretty tricky. So that's it. I'll show one more time slow, just make sure you get these notes. Okay. So each of those, it does twice, the low octave and then the higher one. And then that gets you to, similar to what we did earlier, but now instead of, similar to that one, but instead of doing that, every time you're just going to go. So you're just playing 5, 4, 2, and you're kind of just picking each one twice. So we'll do that 4 times, and then go back into that E chunking thing. And then back into that main riff that I taught in the first video. That time, to end the song, it does it twice, like normal, and then it'll do it twice, an octave up. So that next one, I think that's going on while the other one is still playing, so you could do it like either way. But I'll teach that real fast. 12th fret of the E string, 15, 14 to 12, and then 14, 13, 12. 13, 12 to 14th fret of the G string. 12th fret of the G, back up to there, and then 14, 12, 11, finish on your E note at the 9th fret of the G string. So. And that is the end of the song right there. So, like I said, this is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, check that out. I show the kind of first half. It's quite a bit easier than this one because this has a really hard hybrid picking stuff, and then the fast alternate picking and all that. But my advice is just start slow with the metronome, 3 notes. If you're gonna play it like with the hammer on way, like, then it's 3 notes per beat. Or if you want to just do it like, then it's just gonna be 2 notes per beat, and you know, start it just like 120. Try to work up to around 220. So, all right, that pretty much does it for this one. If there's any other songs you want to see me cover, let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching.